What up?
Okay, I'm Bailey.
I'm Sierra,
I'm Jesse.
I'm John.
and the title of our group essay is
Are you aware of your own thoughts?
Our specific audience was college teachers for first-year students to better their writing.
Yeah, and we wrote about metacognition, which is, kind of goes along with our title. You have to be aware of your own thoughts. And we wrote about it so that students know that it's also important when you do your writing and
Stuff.
stuff.
The place of the communication, we use Google Plus to post the document. And for the larger social setting, the context, it would be mostly for an English or college level English class, and for the students and teachers in there to use that.
Going back to the background knowledge, the teachers have been trained, but this article and essay also help to explain a college student's outlook on what we think good writing is and what we believe the articles have taught us.
There's a lot of things in the article that you don't learn in high school, so it's kind of a good thing to read so that you don't fail your first English class.
I never even knew these existed before this class.
Me neither. I didn't know about
This is an eye-opener.
For the conventions of media and genre, we met the requirements of college level writing by source-based writing, which is like through MLA and using the works cited, stuff like that.
Purdue OWL helped.
I would say that our arrangement pattern is a list because we had to follow a guideline, and especially in our examples, we were listing examples and explaining them. And
We were told what the format of the paper
so
is.
it was kind of a
That
list.
was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So an introduction, background, significance, examples, conclusion, and citation.
For the rhetorical appeals, we built a strong argument through the use. We had 3 different examples. We used 3 different pirate papers because we felt that they best exemplified metacognition. The best.
We also tied in with the other articles that other groups used, like the WPA outcomes, the ECU, QEP, and
The CC.
the CCSS,
The one written by us.
the one for high school students,
Yeah.
to pull what we thought was important for college level writing.
I don't know if we stated this or not, but for our production strategies, we mainly used logos. Because for a writing like this, logic was the best ally to have, as opposed to emotional connection with the reader,
Yeah.
or authority or trustworthiness with ethos.
I don't really know if there's a way that you can make someone feel as if they have to feel like
I don't know how you would emotionally connect someone to
the
good
article.
writing.
That's 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got a lot of talking.
For the individual contributions, I did the conclusion and an example for why metacognition is so important. I think it was, or the article I used was, this essay is neither gay nor retarded.
I think that was a good one because the writer really was thinking about what the words meant and reflecting on her thoughts.
I would say she had to think about it because it affected her life.
Yeah. I worked on the examples as well. I used one about a gentleman who was from the Caribbean. It was called English, a Foreign Language. And the whole time, he was reflecting on how he was always taught like a broken dialect of English. And when he got here to ECU, he had to learn how to use true English. And he had some really good thoughts on just exactly how that went about in his head. And I also worked on the introduction and a little bit on the work side.
And I worked on the significance piece and going back over the entire essay and adding to each of the sections and expanding more on what everyone else's thoughts were.
I just did the work side. That was my biggest contribution. I did like what we did in class, and it was kind of hard because I never did APA. Revision.
We need to identify the reviewers. So who reviewed, like the names of the people that reviewed our things.
Oh.
So I can pull up that document.
Yeah, I had that one.
The revisions that we've made so far, we went back and proofread and tried to correct grammatical errors. We expanded on our significance section, talking about why it's more personal to us,
We have a name.
the significance to us. We expanded on our examples and we added our conclusion.
The people that reviewed us were Melissa Birchwest, Joshua Fisher, Kevin Cooper, and Deja Edwards.
And they were group 3.
The biggest thing they said was audience.
That we did not identify our audience, but we believe
We stated that in the introduction, but they all said
in all parts of our essay we were talking about college writers.
one thing they said that we all did good on was our citations. They said that our works cited looked good and that it looked like that we had, I guess, plenty of citations within our text.
If we were given the time, I think that we would revise our significance section to have more examples pulled from other articles as to why it's more significant to us. But at this point, we just said, like, why we thought that it would help us in our writing, not necessarily in, like, other groups or on a larger scale, other college writing first year classes.
Kind of feedback would be most helpful. Any feedback is good for me.
Any teacher review at this point, because I think that some of the student reviews that we got were kind of confusing because we were told that we did a good job with rhetorical knowledge when that was not anything that we talked about.
Scaffolding.
Personally, the best scaffolding assignment was, I think it was like the last one we did, where we read the essay and we did just like the real informal bullet points, because that was like an actual example of what this writing should look like. So that helped me get my mind around it, get words on paper.
And another scaffolding assignment for me was the activity where we had to paraphrase each other's, I guess, sentences. And this really helped me because instead of like actually putting word for word down on, like, I don't know, an article, you know, it'll help me.
Are you talking about the one we did in the circle in class?
The one where we all plagiarized.
Yeah, where we
I
all
like
played.
that one too, because paraphrasing is hard.
Yeah.
I've always been the one to copy paste.
The scaffolding assignment that was most helpful to me was where we pulled out quotes from our article, three quotes, and then paraphrased them, and then we revised the entire groups so that we found that none of us plagiarized, but actually some of us did, and we had to change it around because we didn't really know to begin with, like, that we weren't allowed to use the same words that they had. So I think that was eye-opening.
I had one in my head, but I lost it. I think the one that I liked the most was when we had to write about the day book and use the rhetorical strategy that we chose, and it made me realize that more about metacognition and how the day book could help us not just in class but outside of class with whatever we're thinking about and struggling with, and yeah, I think that's what helped me the most.
And I think put together all of these assignments helped us just have a better awareness for pulling things out of the article, but like putting it into our own words and being able to say our thoughts about it as well.
Being aware of your own thoughts, metacognition.